Color grading is hard.
When I started streaming and creating content, I tried to match the full gaming vibe, bright colors, heavy contrast, the whole RGB look. But the filmmaker in me wanted more. I wanted my videos to look like film, like they do in the movies. The problem?
Color grading is confusing as hell.
LUTs, nodes, color spaces. I just wanted to get that film look without needing a damn color science degree. So one night, while I was doom scrolling through countless YouTube tutorials and videos, everyone saying something different, everyone overcomplicating it, I came across one single person talking about a plugin called Dehancer. And that moment changed everything. Dehancer is a film-like color grading plugin made for people like me, and maybe you. People who want their videos to feel like film. Not just sharp or colorful, but alive. It gives your footage that movie feeling, the tone, the softness, the textures that make a video feel alive. It's like giving your footage a little bit of soul. And for someone who's always loved the way movies look, and I've always chased that feeling, this was the missing piece for my work.
Full disclosure, Dehancer did reach out to me and ask me to review the plugin. In exchange, they gave me a free copy and asked me for an honest review to help them improve. So that means I didn't get a script and they're not seeing this before I post it. But, and this is a big but, and I want to be clear, I have actually owned Dehancer for well over a year. I have used it on student films, short films, gaming videos, YouTubes, and even short form content like TikTok. So this isn't something that I'm using for the first time. This is something that I actually trust in my workflow. Enough yapping, let's go take it for a spin.
Okay, so here we are within Premiere Pro, and as you can see, I've already added an adjustment layer and a clip that we're going to use for today. Before we get started, this is not going to be a color grading tutorial. This is just for me to show you what Dehancer can do. But the people over at Dehancer have made it so you can do everything within a single adjustment layer or a single node. And I know some of you out there are saying, no, there's better ways to do it. Listen, this is just for example's sake. It is possible. They gave you the controls to do so within the plugin. So that's how we're going to do it today to show you. If you go up to the first one, you have input here, and you can see it's by default set to Rec 709. So if your footage has already been converted to Rec 709 or started in Rec 709, you can kind of skip this. But in our case, it is not in Rec 709. So if you open this up, you see you get a few options, but what's really important is the choose camera option. And if you click the second dropdown, you can see that Dehancer spent a lot of time going through a bunch of different cameras, everything from Apple Log all the way down to Sony. And the reason this is important is because every single camera has a little bit of a different color science. And if you do something like a DaVinci Resolve CST or something here in Premiere Pro, it's kind of a vague CST, right? It's going to kind of just be just every single camera is going to have the same kind of conversion, but here it's specific to that camera. And a good example is a buddy of mine shoots on a 7R5, and we recently did a music video together. And if you go down to where it says Sony A7R5, you can kind of see the difference in the footage. Let me see if I can find 7R5, and we shot it in S-Log3 Gamut 3 Cine. So if you click on that, you can see that the colors are a little bright on his version. But if you go down to my camera, which was the FX30 shot in the same thing, but in 800, you can see the colors shift. So this is really important to like get accurate colors, and the people over at Dehancer, you guys did your magic and spent the time. So this is a great option, and it's going to make life a lot easier down the road. Underneath, you'll see you do have a bunch of options to adjust things, and you can kind of open these drop downs for a little bit more fine tuning. I don't generally mess with it too much unless I need to make some exposure adjustments or maybe some temperature. The next one's going to be film. As you can see here, if you enable it, you get a lot of options here for film. And I can be honest with you, you will spend a lot of time here clicking through every single one, but eventually you will start to find your favorites. I personally like the Kodak Visions. And up here at the top, the Cine Stills. I like to use these. They kind of have a nice little kind of red, I don't know, something about this one just kind of really shines out to me. And if you need to adjust the colors, you can do that right here. Next, we have Film Developer, and Film Developer is great because you can add a little bit of a color boost, and you can see that the red's kind of going up a little bit. You can do some color separation, some contrast boost. Next is Film Compression. Film Compression If we enable this, you can make a few more fine tune. I don't generally touch this one too much, but if you want to add a little bit of color density, you can. Expand, I don't usually touch too much, but if you need it, it's here. Kind of adjust your black point and your white point. Print, this is a big one. Print is by default set to linear, but if you want to switch this to say Cine on film log and then use a LUT of your own, you can. Or if you want to switch it to one of these, I sometimes will use glossy paper because it kind of adds a little bit of richness to the video. And I love contrast and I love color, so this is something that I use. Or I'll use the 2383 print film, which gives it a more vintage look. For now, we'll just leave it at linear. You do have some options here for color density again and saturation. I try not to touch saturation ever. Exposure if you need it. Here next we have color head. You can really fine tune the colors if you need to. I generally don't mess with this because my colors are usually planned out ahead of time. You can see it's very destructive and we won't mess with that. Film grain. This is one that's really important. It's already been added, but you can do everything from like really thick film grain all the way down to a nice fine. And if you open up your custom, you can go ahead and you can really fine tune where and how your film grain looks. This is not just an overlay. This is like magic that they've done for you guys. And it's really great. I tend to not use this if it's going to be for social media because with the compression, it really makes your video look like poop, right? But if you're going to do this for YouTube or for film, or in my case, some student films and stuff, this is a great addition to have. Next is halation. Halation is good because everyone's always looking for halation. I know you can also do this in DaVinci Resolve with their cinema style, whatever they have. But for me, I feel like the Dehancer one is I don't know, it's something about it. It's just better. If you click on mask mode, you can kind of see where the halation is. I usually use halation a lot when it comes to my videos, and bloom is another one that I use a lot. You can see if you hit bloom, it softens up the video. It makes it look less digital. It really is, for me, the icing that really kind of makes it look like film. Film damage, here's another great one. It'll kind of give it all those little hairs and artifacts within the footage. It's hard to see it here, but it is here. If you go down to, I think, 8mm, then they really start to kind of shine. You can see it there. I did use this in the beginning video. Film breath is another one that's kind of makes it look like authentic film. Oh, it wasn't enabled. There you go. Kind of gives the film a little bit of movement and life. Gate weave. Here's another one, same thing. It kind of makes it look like that film moving. Why does it keep disabling it? Okay, there you go. Kind of gives the footage a little bit of movement to give it that film look. Overscan. Overscan is a really cool one. It's kind of a stylized one, and it's something that I saw on a documentary recently on Netflix. And if you click on it, you can see that you get those like film. Here's the Super 8 one. This is what I saw on Netflix. You can kind of see that it really feels alive. It really feels like actual film. And you have a lot of options to switch from negative to positive and whatever. But we'll go ahead and deactivate that one. And then overscan, you have, that's what we just did. Vignette, you can add a vignette if you need to. I tend to not use this one. I like to use my own vignettes within either DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro. Monitor's kind of a cool one. You can check your false colors. If you should be shooting this in camera when you're filming, but if you need false color for whatever reason, you can kind of see where you're clipping and stuff. You can maybe make some adjustments to fix it. And then you have your output, you have your LUT generator, and then of course your own device. And that's pretty much it.
Basically, Dehancer allows you to get that film look like you see in the movies. And the cool thing is, it does a lot of the hard work for you. It's not a one-trick pony. Think about it like you're thirsty and you go to the fridge. You can pick and choose what you need for each project.
Ooh, halation.
Now, I can already see the comment section and people saying, how much does Dehancer cost? And I'm gonna be honest with you, Dehancer is not cheap. Luckily, they do offer different packages for different projects, everything from 1 month all the way to a lifetime license, which is exceptionally expensive. And if you wanna save 10% like I did, you can use my creator code, which I'm gonna post down here. I did it when I was a student and it did help me save a little bit of money. In return, if you use my code, they will give me a commission and it'll help fund my channel, which as of today, will probably be back to life thanks to this. Now, while we're kind of on the topic of money, Dehancer, I hope you're listening because this is my biggest complaint. If I buy the plugin for Premiere Pro, let's say, with 3 seats, I should not have to buy another copy to run it in DaVinci Resolve. or Final Cut. Sometimes when you work on different projects, different software is used. For me, I use both DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro, so it would be nice to be able to use one of those seats to mix and match instead of having to buy a completely new copy. It would be nice. It's a thought. I don't know. Maybe think about it. And one last thing that I thought was pretty cool, Dehancer actually offers a cell phone app for their plugin. Now, with everyone using Apple Log these days, this is great for converting your footage from Apple Log to Rec 709 and adding film looks all from your phone, allowing you never to have to transfer your footage to your computer. This makes life so much easier for quick turnarounds, quick social media posts, you name it. And I've used it, and I will probably continue to use it after this review. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for listening to my review. I hope it helps some of you, because listen, I know it's weird. I'm a streamer, but I'm also a content creator and filmmaker and videographer, and I really dance between worlds. And this plugin has severely helped me with my workflow, and I'm sure it will with you guys too. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.